Ohayou gozaimashita. It's Justin Morris here with another episode of the Diabetes Insight vlog. And this month I wanted to share some very exciting news for myself with you all. My wife and I are expecting our first baby that is coming in April next year. So I will have some very new and very exciting and very hard challenges ahead of me that I hope to be able to share with you about and how I can deal with my diabetes in this new life. But this month, apart from sharing that exciting news with you, I wanted to talk to you about another theme in diabetes management that I think is very, very important. And that is striving for perfection and indeed the impossibility of perfection. Perfection, by definition, is something that is without fault. Human beings, conversely, are full of faults, and indeed it is through these faults that we learn how to become better people, and especially in the context of diabetes, it is how we learn to manage our diabetes better, by making mistakes. Now in life, sometimes we think that we can meet these expectations of perfection, and indeed with diabetes management, sometimes we're very, very hard on ourselves if we make a mistake or if we see something like a blood glucose measurement that is not completely up to our expectations. Last week, I completed a 3-day bike ride, a tour around this island of Tasmania. It included many, many hills. In fact, over 3 days, I climbed the equivalent of 1.5 Mount Everests in elevation and rode over 800 kilometres. Now I had these expectations about how many kilometres I would cover per day and which towns I would reach in a certain time frame on each of these days of riding. However, on the second day, the weather turned very, very bad. It was freezing cold, there was lots of rain, I even had snow, and I had to deal with these challenges because they were upsetting my expectation. And I then had to adapt my expectations of what was going to be achievable on this bike ride. Now, this is a good metaphor for our diabetes management because quite often I meet people with diabetes who think they should always have the perfect blood glucose level. But the reality is this can be up and down, it can fluctuate according to so many things in our lives. So we need to be kind to ourselves and of course strive for better management. So want that drive, that motivation to have better management, but not to be hard and cruel on ourselves if it does not happen. On this bike ride, if I had become sad, flustered, angry and upset at myself for not meeting my expectations, then it would have inhibited my ability to complete the ride successfully. Instead, I had to accept what was the current situation and progress on accordingly. With our diabetes management, sometimes our blood sugar level isn't the exact number we wanted or expected it to be. But being hard on ourselves can then make that even worse, and it can damage our motivation to achieve what is good management. So I encourage you to know that even the very best accomplished, even the very most famous people with type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes, no one has perfect management of their diabetes. It is something that is incredibly difficult to manage and can be incredibly unpredictable. So accepting its unpredictability can enable us to make the most out of life despite our diabetes. Perfection is not a prerequisite to achieving your dreams or living out your goals despite having diabetes as an extra challenge in your life. So I want to encourage you, please do not focus on your problems with type 1 diabetes. Accept them, address them, but most importantly, let's focus on the solutions. Remember, our team, our motivation, and our yuki to get through the hard times with type 1 diabetes. Perfection is not a prerequisite to achieving whatever you want to achieve in your life despite your diabetes. So don't wait for the perfection. Get started now, get out there and make the most of it.